more than 20,000 foals. At age 3, only 20 can compete. History beckons with each step on the road to the Kentucky Derby.
This year, the Breeders' Cup returns to Kentucky, the horse capital of the world, where the idea for this year-end series of championship races was born. And for the first time, it's being held at picturesque Keeneland Racecourse in the heart of the Bluegrass. Hi, I'm Jill Byrne for the Kentucky Derby here at Churchill Downs, just about 75 miles west of Keeneland. And the Breeders' Cup races may be the end of the season for many horses. In fact, Kentucky Derby and Triple Crown winner American Pharoah is expected to make his final start in the Breeders' Cup Classic before retiring to a career as a stallion. But for the colts who will be competing in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, it is just the beginning of their journey along the road to Kentucky Derby 142. With 5 prep races already completed, the road to the Kentucky Derby leaderboard is starting to take shape. At the top is the undefeated Nyquist. He won the Frontrunner Stakes at Santa Anita, in which he waited patiently to make his move and then survived a long stretch duel to finally prevail. Nyquist has those same connections who teamed up to win the 2012 Kentucky Derby with I'll Have Another. His owner, Paul Redham, a lifelong hockey fan, named him after Gustav Nyquist, a star player for the Detroit Red Wings. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile at Keeneland will be the first start outside California for Nyquist. The pride of Kentucky is Brody's Cause, named by his owner, Dennis Albaugh, for one of the people on his team who helped pick the colt out of the horse sales. Brody's Cause came from far off the pace to win the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland over a strong field under jockey Corey Lannery, a perennial leader among riders in Kentucky. His trainer Dale Romans has finished third a couple of times in the Kentucky Derby. For this native of Louisville, a win in the Run for the Roses would top off his career. Brody's Cause has an advantage over his Breeders' Cup rivals, having already won over the home track. Greenpoint Crusader landed a spot on the leaderboard with a victory at Belmont Park in the Champagne Stakes. After braking slowly, he splashed through the mud to win convincingly. Greenpoint Crusader was born and raised in Kentucky, but is raced exclusively in New York for his Brooklyn connections. He is named after a Brooklyn high school football team, the Greenpoint Crusaders. Cocked and Loaded fired first with a victory in the Iroquois Stakes at Churchill, which kicked off the road to Kentucky Derby 142 in September. One of the most accomplished colts on the leaderboard, he began his career with a win at Keeneland in April. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile will be a homecoming for Cocked and Loaded. Riker captured the Gray Stakes at Woodbine in Canada to earn 10 points and remain a perfect 4 for 4 in his young career. Rated R Superstar has yet to actually win a race, but a second in the Iroquois Stakes and a third in the Breeders' Futurity have earned him enough points to land a top 10 spot on the road to Kentucky Derby leaderboard and a chance to get his first victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And the DeZormo brothers won last year's Breeders' Cup with Texas Red. They are back on this year's leaderboard with 2 colts. Swipe has been chasing Nyquist in California, losing a tough battle in the frontrunner after encountering traffic trouble throughout the entire race. Exaggerator appeared to be on his way to victory in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland before being run down late by Brody's Cause. Last year's winning team have a strong 1-2 punch for this year. One of these colts, or perhaps a new face, will vault to the top of the leaderboard with a victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and stamp themselves as the early favorite along the road to Kentucky Derby 142. Follow the action on KentuckyDerby.com with profiles on the horses and their connections, behind-the-scenes access, leaderboard updates, and race schedules. Enter the promo code in each episode to win a trip to Kentucky Derby 143 and catch the excitement on the road to the Kentucky Derby.